has attracted anybody.
Sorry, I forgot to start the recorder. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's right. I just don't understand that what she has done has brought anybody to the town. And I am going to file a freedom of information to see what the invoices say that she is being paid for.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's transparent, Don. You can have anything you want.
She
Okay.
provides documentation of her work every month.
Okay, I wasn't in on the whole hiring of her and I don't quite get the whole thing, so I'm just kind of catching up.
The job was
The
posted
job was
online.
posted. Supervisor Molino, if we're not telling the truth, please jump in at any time. The job was posted and Jamie was the only applicant that applied, Donna.
And it was posted where?
On the website and wherever else we post jobs. There was a number of jobs posted at the same time. I can't remember what they all were, but.
What was that, Lori?
It was all on the website.
Lori said everything was all on the website.
Yeah, as did
Okay.
Supervisor Molino.
And also, now that it's changed from a 10-week position to a longer term position, there might be more people willing to apply for the position. I just think it
That's
should have
true.
been put out there too, because there was such a discussion about it in the first place that they thought it wasn't advertised correctly or enough.
No,
So
I don't think anybody brought that up unless,
I don't
do
think
you
brought
remember
it
any of that, Gene, or anybody that if we didn't do it?
Gene
the right
wasn't
way?
at that meeting. Gene was not at that meeting because he hasn't been at any of the meetings that I've been to except for the last one that you guys didn't attend.
And just so you know, Donna, I'm versed on it because I'm that's part of my committee and not because Jamie is my stepdaughter, which everybody knows, and I'm not trying to hide behind that. The company that we had doing that work previously was from Mannix Marketing, and they were charging $85 an hour. So we're actually saving the townspeople $65 an hour. And in not only my opinion, but the whole town board, Supervisor Molino's commented that she's done a great job. She's set up an Instagram, she's set up Facebook, and she works tirelessly at it. I don't know if you're on either one of those platforms.
Well,
but
I
would
have,
certainly
and I
invite you-
have,
Can I finish,
and
please? I would
Okay.
certainly invite you to go take a look and see her scope of work before you second guess what she's done.
You may
Although
want
I
to ask
have-
Lori too, how she feels about that. I think it took a lot of problems off Lori's plate.
Yeah.
Correct, Lori?
Yeah, I no longer have to post things. She's very attentive. Like I sent the agenda to her this morning within 10 minutes. I got a reply back, all set. I went on the website, verified, it was all done. I mean, she does do a good job.
well, then I think we should work on our special events portion of the website because we're not doing anything for the town. We're advertising more for the communities around us. So, but that was where part of what I saw. But okay, I'll step down. You guys.
Don, before you go, Donna, can you do me one favor? Just pull up the website and look at the events calendar. It's chock
I have
full
looked
of
at it.
things. Okay, good.
I have
Awesome.
looked at it.
Beautiful.
I have looked at it.
All right,
Okay.
Donna, this is Gene, just so you know, I mean, what this resolution is for the end, to the end of the year. And we're
Okay.
gonna finish out there, then maybe we can go another direction or stay the way it is. I do believe that, the stuff that's going on there is right. And, I'm not saying anything wrong, she's very attentive. So this is just for the end of the year. And that amount of money I have in here, I think it winds up to be about $4,000, about $1,000 a month. So right now, we'll see if it passes, but that's on what the whole scoop is.
Mhm.
All right, anybody else out there that wants to make a
Thank you,
comment?
Donna.
Thank you.
On the mic.
I don't see anybody raising their
All
hand.
right, give you one more shot. Anybody else out there wants to make a comment? Please speak up. All right, not hearing any, we'll let Lori start reading off the resolutions.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the minutes of August 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 27th.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that. You're gonna vote on all those resolutions, but I just want to let you know that I'm going to ask for resolution 110
To amend.
to amend it later. You can vote on it now because it's in the minutes, but I'm going to come back and amend it. The reason I'm going to amend it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, transfers of money out of the contingency account. And
110.
That's not it.
110.
Sorry about that.
You're amending 110, is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna let you vote on it now if you want to prove it, but I'm gonna come back, the minutes, we're only talking about the minutes. I'm gonna come back and talk about 1110 because there's a mistake on here. This money is about 35,000 that's moved out of contingency into other lines, and you can't do that. I have the information, what the law is on it. The contingency is not to move into other accounts. It's got to stay in there. It's only to take care of the budget if it's overdrawn, any account, road department. And that's what it's for. We can take money out of unexpended balance, the same thing, but that's a separate thing that we have to do. All right, just so,
Okay.
I don't know if.
Why don't we make a motion to table it until the end, Gene? That way we can come back around and talk about it
That's
instead
what I
of
want
getting
to do.
clogged up with it.
I didn't want to take a while, I'll let you vote on it, but I just want you to know, we gotta change that because it's not right. So the
Yeah.
money can't be moved to those other funds.
Sure.
We can do that.
Did you
Yeah,
check with
or-
the comptroller? Is that what we did?
I'm sorry.
Did the comptroller tell you to do that?
Yep, and all I checked with the state, yep, I have the information.
Okay,
It's-
all right.
It's, I think maybe Mark, not that I'm for you in it, am I right in what I said? I don't think it's appropriate.
I was gonna say, that's not appropriate, Gene, to ask him that. That's putting them on the spot and us.
All right,
110.
110.
Resolution budget amendments for August 2021, introduced by Deputy Supervisor.
You're talking about we just
Can we finish the vote on the minutes at least before we?
We're
go any
tabling it.
further?
Table.
Go ahead.
No, the minutes are the minutes.
Minutes are the minutes.
If
Right, the minutes we
anything's
can't
going to
change.
be amended, it would be another resolution to amend that resolution, okay? So your minutes are your minutes. They can't be changed,
Right.
okay? So I have a first and a
And I
second.
seconded that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. You have to,
I have to, that's what I have to stay, I wasn't here.
okay, go ahead.
All
You
right.
ready?
Yep, okay.
All right. Resolution 133 of 2021 to accept the resignations of attorney for the town David Mitchell Esquire and town constable James Fitzgerald, introduced by Supervisor Molina.
I'll make a motion in regrets of them leaving us.
I think it was a second, right? You made the motion, you're seconding it, Paul?
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
made the motion?
I did.
You did, yes. You and Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Resolution 134 of 2021 to authorize the town of Lake Luzerne to retain the services of Miller, Manick, Shagner, and Hafner law firm as presented, introduced by Supervisor Marino.
I sent the Zola thing on
Yeah.
that Friday, everything, all their costs, all their, they service about 7 towns in Warren County alone, probably another 12 or 15 the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
We're gonna need an attorney, this is only till the end of the year, and then we can come back and decide on, but we gotta have an attorney.
Yeah, I'll second,
You
but,
got a
but,
second?
but I have a discussion.
You're second on my
Yeah,
motion.
sure. My only concern, and I said this outside, you've come very highly recommended. I had 2 great phone calls today, but I'm concerned about that county lawsuit.
Are you aware of that, Mr. Molino, the county lawsuit that,
I am
We are.
aware.
so,
That's, that's a real concern of mine that,
Well,
And just-
in a way, I look at it, that's the county problem. It's not a town problem.
well, we don't want to make it our town problem. You know what I mean? Where the county could be potentially on the hook for up for $1 million. And from what I've heard, and this is no disrespect towards you at all, that the insurance company might balk at paying that. So that'll be translated over to the taxpayers, because if they do not pay that settlement and the legal fees that come along with it, guess who does? You, me, Dan, everybody in town of Lake Luzerne.
All
So,
right, the only thing I'll say to that is, number one, this is only to the end of the year. That by the time that lawsuit comes up in next year or the year after, we'll maybe be in a different direction.
maybe,
So I don't think we should hold back on something that could be moved just for 4 months, 4.5 months. That's just,
perfect. Yeah, it's
you
your
know, I
opinion.
understand what you're
That's
saying,
it.
it's possible, you
Right.
know, But I think we just apply for 4 months, see how it works, and then go from the beginning of the year, we all knew everything we tried.
So I'm gonna be honest with you, and again, no disrespect to you at all. I read the Supreme Court, the appellate decisions and stuff, that the fact that it was such a gross disregard for the actual way that things are supposed to go, and I'm not a lawyer. Our potential lawyer filed the charges, hired the examiner, testified, ratified the decision, and terminated the employee all with one person. We all know that that's not how it works. And I really find that to be a problem to bring that potential liability to our great town and the people in it. So that's just my take on it.
Okay, so this is to the end of the year.
Yeah, that's all it is right now.
So
I got a
we have a
second,
second.
and we can vote on it. If you want to vote no, that's fine. We gotta move ahead with it. Sorry.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with you. Yep.
All in favor?
Want to call the roll and have it?
You want me to call?
Yeah, call the roll.
Councilman O'Neill,
No.
Councilman Lewandowski,
No.
Councilman Fazio,
No,
Councilman Waterhouse.
No.
Supervisor Molino.
Yes. Right, I guess we don't need any more right now. Thank you for coming.
Can we say one thing?
Sure.
From our perspective, no disrespect to anybody's intended, we understand that. The situation you're talking about is nothing whatsoever to do with A, our law firm, B, your seeking of town council, and more importantly, we would request an opportunity to discuss what you're concerned about in executive session. As you all know, sounds like you know certain parts of the story that have been reported in the newspaper and elsewhere. There's a lot of misinformation about
You know, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
it. We can do that right now. if you
Well,
like.
but we've already voted. We've already voted.
Well, we could just go on executive session and find out what it's about and maybe change the vote, revote.
I see no need to, but that's just my opinion.
I think that as highly as you come and recommended, you deserve that chance to just talk to us in executive session. I don't think it's gonna deter the vote that much, but you know, I'm willing to listen.
What harm is there?
This isn't appropriate for an executive session discussion. It's not an employee, it's not anything. So I don't know why we're going down this road, but correct me if I'm wrong. This is not a situation for executive session.
We can do executive session on an instance like this, a hire an outside contract.
Well, why would we want to hide from everybody what they have to say in an executive session? I'm just asking, Gene, I'm not a
They're hiding
lawyer.
nothing. They're gonna-
Well, if we're going to
they're
executive
gonna
session, we
agree.
got 38 people on Zoom right now that probably want to know what's going to be
Well,
talked about.
Those 30.
Are you saying that
probably
these
would like
people
to be
aren't
here.
entitled to, well, they are here. If they were here and we went into executive session, what would we do? We would ask them to leave the building. Correct or
I'm
no?
calling for a motion on the executive. If you want to make the motion.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Yeah, I don't want to send you guys home that way. You know, if you have something you want to say, I'm willing to hear it.
We'll make a motion.
I did make a motion
And I
to go
second.
into, that means we got to hear to everybody on Zoom.
Absolutely. Or we could just mute. We could just mute. We don't have to get rid of everybody, but we need a roll call.
All in favor?
I
Opposed?
Opposed?
That was like,
All right, mute the people. I apologize. It'll be just a little while. We'll be back.
If this is going into executive session, she's got to leave, he's got to leave. You have to leave.
Session about?
What's the executive session about? Not clear. Anyone?
Mute yourself again.
Yeah, you know what? They're very obtuse. They don't basically communicate with the Zoom audience very well.
Not at all. I don't know who's the supervisor. Is it Fazio?
I'm
Or is
not
it Gene?
sure. Yeah, I'm really, I'm coming in late to this conversation about. Can you hear me? Just take yourselves off mute. And we can talk amongst each other, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
What
tried
is
to
this
mute us. I
lawsuit
think.
That they're talking about.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably yeah. So
You got muted again.
Yeah,
yeah, they're trying to mute us, and just keep clicking unmute when you see. we go
yes,
to
of
mute.
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
She's muting us.
Yeah,
It's a
She's muting
control.
us. Yes, they're trying to.
they're trying. So just keep unmuting.
All
when
right,
you see it.
I'm sorry for the delay. We're gonna hold this off till the end of the meeting and we'll have an executive session, so everybody doesn't have to wait for us. So we're gonna go back into the regular meeting and continue with our resolution.
Thank you Supervisor Merlino.
Can you mute him?
I don't know who it is, but,
Stanley Goldberg.
Stanley.
but just
Oh,
so you,
Stanley
Mr. Goldberg,
Oh,
Mr. Molino asked for the executive session, so I'm glad you're happy that we're back, but it was him that asked for it. So,
All right,
yes,
move on.
yes, not Supervisor Fazio.
thank you, sir.
Okay, resolution 135 of 2021, authorizing payment of monthly vouchers of the ninth abstract as follows. General fund vouchers 27687 to 27757 for $37,045.12. Highway vouchers 27654 to 27686, $85,620.24. Lake Luzerne water 27,639 to 27,650 and 27,758, 98,69 and 50 cents. And Hudson Grove Water Fund vouchers 27651 to 27653 for 24,188 and 74 cents. Introduced by Councilman Waterhouse.
Get a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
I have a problem with this.
Opposed? Yes.
I have not seen the vouchers. I've not reviewed the vouchers.
Are they out tonight?
Oh, they were out last meeting.
There was no meeting last meeting.
But you didn't pick them up earlier? All right, you want to leave it?
How do I pick up a whole pile of vouchers?
Come in and read them like we normally do. I got them in my office if you want to look them in now, you know. You tell me one, I'll bring them right out here, you can look at them.
Go get them.
Well, let's put that off till the end.
Yeah, let's,
just keep, let's
keep water in progress. All right, we'll leave that, we'll hold off on that one until you read the ballot. So you're probably gonna have to do on most of it. Go ahead.
Authorize, resolution 136 of 2021, authorizing budget amendment for September 2021 as follows. Transfer from SW1 8320.2, which is the equipment line, to SW1 8320.4, which is power and pumping, for $51,510.13 to correct accounting and posting error introduced by Supervisor Molino.
Can you explain that, please? I'll second it first. Can you explain it? Dean?
That's those well pumps.
Right, so we took it out of,
We changed it, you took it out of the wrong account. So
I didn't take it, I'm not, you're the finance guy, not me.
I mean, you
Okay,
personally.
all right.
It came out of the wrong account through Colleen, so we just moved it from the right account.
So it came out of an
It's the same
equipment
money,
to like
everything.
Dymo thing?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yes, it came out of the equipment
Right,
line.
came out of equipment.
I believe, don't quote me on this, but maybe by the suggestion of the attorney, I'm not sure. And it should have come out of the power and pumping line. So it's just a correction, so it comes out of the right fund. The right line. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 137 of 2021, authorizing the highway superintendent to make a purchase exceeding the $1,500 procurement policy threshold for the purchase of a water line stop service, which will allow for continued water service during a fire hydrant replacement. 3 quotes have been provided to the town bookkeeper, and authorization shall not exceed $5,000, introduced by Councilman O'Neill.
I'll second it, but I'd like to have Ron explain
Okay, all
the,
right.
how things have transpired since last month, please.
On this line stop,
I went down yesterday to investigate this line, how deep it was, what it was and everything. And we dug it up and it's actually a 4-inch going to this hydrant. So with that being said, I have to get another coupler, which they haven't stocked down, put apart. On Monday, we are gonna freeze that line ourselves. I would like to amend this resolution to do that line stop on another hydrant. Most likely, it's gonna be the one straight across from Gilly Hill. That one, we've had issues where it takes 2 guys to turn it on. But I'm trying to rebuild it right now. It might work, it might not.
That's the one you got the bag over, right, Ron?
Yeah,
That's the fire hydrant that you have the bag over?
That
By
one's
Gilly
bad, and the one down the road is bad.
you got a yellow bag on the one on Gailey Hill.
Yes, we took it all apart and everything, and we're gonna try and rebuild it. It might work, it might not. They have not been apart up there for the 20 years I've been here. Me not knowing, I don't know if the last superintendents knew that you take off the bonnet and there's a reservoir in there. It's a different style hydrant than some of the other ones down in town. So this is why we're having such a problem up in that area. I do have a rebuild kit for it and everything. I'm gonna try it. I gotta take a part off the one we're taking out and use it on this one. But I would like to just take that line stop and use it on another hydrant.
That's fine. I don't have a better problem with that, Ron.
Okay,
So you don't want to change this resolution, we're gonna just keep going.
Right, because this
Yes.
isn't
You're gonna need it
specific.
anyway.
yeah,
Right, this
because
isn't
that was for
specific.
the specific one. I wanna just move it to a different one, that's all.
Right, it doesn't say
It doesn't say.
which one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fine, Ron.
I just wanted to make that clear and we're gonna change this one out ourselves and we won't need them and hopefully we can get a second hydrant done.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Resolution 138 of 2021, authorizing the Buildings and Grounds Department to make a purchase exceeding the $1,500 procurement policy threshold and to contract with a tree removal company for removal of a tree on the corner of Mill Street and Route 9N. 3 quotes have been provided to the town bookkeeper and authorization shall not exceed $5,000, introduced by Councilman Waterhouse.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried 5-0. Resolution 139 of 2021, resolution authorizing a 50% reimbursement payment to the Town of Lake Luzerne lifeguards for the cost of their certifications for the fiscal year 2021. Reimbursement authorization is limited to 50% of the cost of the certification and shall not exceed $200 per license, or I'm sorry, per lifeguard for the season, introduced by Councilman Lewandowski.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Resolution 140 of 2021, resolution amending resolution 112 of 2021, authorizing purchase of 2 facial recognition time clocks with temperature detection by increasing spending authorization from $4,000 to $5,000 to allow the extended warranty protection, introduced by Councilman O'Neill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0 carried. Resolution 141 of 2021, resolution authorizing the settlement of a claim against the Town of Lake Luzerne by Joan Maragula in the amount of $1342.53 for alleged damage to her vehicle while traveling through a Town of Lake Luzerne Highway Department work zone, introduced by Councilman Waterhouse.
I'll second that.
I got a question.
Yep.
I was out, I wasn't there for this one. Did anybody submit this to our insurance company?
No one has yet because it hasn't been passed.
Huh?
No one has because it hasn't been passed.
Can't submit it for reimbursement
You
until,
should submit it first before, see what, they might not pay it, then we have to do it, or they might pay, I think they'll, we have a $500 deduction on insurance on a quick. So I mean, it's not gonna be saving a lot, but $800, but it's $800.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against doing it.
Right.
And hurt her, but you know, I think it should be sent to the insurance company, let them look at the claim, and that's what we normally
Agreed.
do on any of these things.
Yeah, I've never seen one of these claims come through, so I didn't know.
Okay, so we're not passing the resolution, or are we amending the resolution to have it submitted to the insurance company first?
Yes, I think that's the best thing.
How
That's
do
why
you
we
wanna
pay
do
the
it?
insurance companies to insure.
So then we're gonna pay the difference on that?
Well, we have a $500 deductible, so they'll probably pay 8, whatever, you know, from the 13, maybe 8.
So we're gonna make her whole.
And it'll still make our home.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm with doing it. If they say, no, we can't do it, it's not in your policy, then we'll give it this whole amount.
Okay.
All right? But I just,
No, I
we pay the
agree.
insurance company to protect our
I agree.
equipment stuff.
Um, Okay, so I'm gonna reword this a little bit, and you guys tell me if this is okay. So the resolution will be to submit it to the insurance company. The town will pay the difference, or will pay in full if the insurance company pays 0. Is that okay?
We'll pay it in full, but I think the insurance company will.
We'll give a portion of it, maybe,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
What do we got to
we're
do?
we're definitely gonna give 500 if we have $500.
We have a $500 deductible, so
Right,
if
so-
they say we'll pay the whole thing, they'll only give us maybe 800.
Right, yeah, so as long as we make her whole.
Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna
good
make
with
her
that.
whole. I hate to hold her up, but I think. that's
She
the
said it's
right
gonna take a while anyway, so,
So Dan, you introduced that.
Yeah.
Okay, is that all right, the way it's worded?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mike second. Mike-
Yep, second, yep.
Oh.
As long as she's made whole, that's my whole thing.
Gotta be
I-
made whole.
It's very important
That I
because,
get, we won't guarantee that.
absolutely.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Resolution 142 of 2021, resolution authorizing settlement of a claim against the Town of Lake Luzerne by Teresa Rivers in the amount of $1239.50 for flowers ordered in October of 2020 by Supervisor Merlino and delivered to the Town of Lake Luzerne in the spring of 2021, introduced by Councilman Waterhouse.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Resolution 143 of 2021, resolution authorizing the Town of Lake Luzerne to expand the terms of the current professional services grant writing contract with Tracy Clothier. New and additional services shall include professional services as lake manager and professional services as coordinator of the updated comprehensive plan. The current contract, which runs through December 31st, 2021, is hereby expanded to include the above duties and scope of services with the budgeted amount of $10,000 total for all services remaining constant, introduced by Councilman Waterhouse.
Seconded.
I think she's only used like 2,000 of that, right? So,
I haven't kept up on it.
yeah, I think it's about that, but she did help out a lot with the lake and setting up the comp plan.
Yeah.
So, and getting us obviously possible grants.
Yeah, she's doing a very good job for us.
Yeah, no
And she
problem.
did, she did say, and I think her original proposal was 60. She said she would continue to do the 50 at this point, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Resolution 144 of 2021, resolution authorizing and approving the extension of professional services contract with Jamie Dual Krantz as web director for the Town of Lake Luzerne through December 31st, 2021, with authorization for 40 hours per month at the current rate of $25 per hour, introduced by Councilman Lewandowski.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Recusing myself.
Carried 4-0. Resolution 145 of 2021, resolution authorizing the issuance of a town credit card to the highway superintendent for monthly purchases authorized below the procurement policy threshold, introduced by Councilman Fazio.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Okay, we need a motion to move into water board to address the appeal of the water bill.
Lori, before we do, I have a few other things I want to just bring up here. We have one, I'll give to you to read, to give them all to you to read actually here. So that way. pass it down.
Am I reading this?
What is this now?
There's some resolutions we want
Just
to do.
resolutions that we wanted to add to the pile.
You don't want to go finish the water board first? You want to do this?
Well, because we're doing resolutions now, however you want to do it.
No,
it's fine.
actually, the water board's gonna be resolution too. so-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're fine. We can, let's finish up
I'll
your
finish
agenda.
Out the resolution.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's have a motion to go to water boards.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Resolution 146 of 2021, authorizing a reduced water bill for 875 Lake Ave, reducing the bill from 198.56 to 125 as requested by Charlotte Lizzle, introduced by Councilman Waterhouse.
Second.
The only issue I have with this is, did we ever find the leak? Did she find the leak? Because we're really setting a bad precedence. If we pay something, we haven't found the leak, or what's the cause of this?
Well, I'm not even sure what residents you're talking about. I was never told about a leak.
Rick and Brian went down, checked for leaks, there were no leaks.
Rick said no leak.
I explained this at a previous
Oh,
meeting.
yeah, you explained it to me, but I'm not sure the
Yeah.
board, you explained it to everybody.
Okay, well. So there were no leaks found. So that would say that the water was run through the meter.
Or we got a bad meter.
Usually if there's a problem with a meter, it's my understanding, it will stop spinning. It won't spin faster.
We get a lot of
That's
these
my
over the
understanding.
years that happens. We look, maybe
Maybe
they had a leaking tank for a month, then somebody fixes it, and then you don't have a leak anymore. So this is just up to you. If you
But
want
when they
to-
went there were
There were no
no
leaks
leaks.
on it.
So that's up to you guys what you want to do with it. I can say her average bill is normally 125. Back in 15 and 16, she had a couple higher bills, but there was someone living with her. And she's an elderly lady who lives by herself at this point.
But what's the money we're talking here?
$60 or something.
It's,
$60.
Yeah, about $50.
I don't think it's a good precedent to set myself, because everybody whose water bill is gonna be a little bit higher than they think is gonna say, okay, we have a problem here and I'm gonna ask you guys to mitigate it. This is a older senior lady, I'm thinking, or is it, somebody who's on a tight, because I'll pay it for her. I have no problem with that. I just don't want to set the precedent of us saying, okay, it's okay to contest your water bill and we're gonna do it. So if the board is okay, supervisor's okay, I will write a check for that amount to
I'd be
offset that
okay
water.
with it, because like over my 15 years, we must have had 5 that happened.
Do you think we should do it, Gene?
It happens, it's a minor amount. If it was in the hundreds, then this could be, like I say, a leaky toilet for a week, 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, and then somebody fixes it. I know it's not our problem, but you never know what it was. But there's no physical leak, so you can turn this down, that's up to you guys. I mean, that's strictly up to you. Or you can reimburse them the $50.
What's your recommendation?
I'd like to see it reimbursed, seeing it's a senior.
It's not reimbursed.
Not
Just adjusted.
Just to drop down to 125.
Because it's a senior person.
Yeah, I do too, but
I mean, I understand. what
we
you're
haven't
saying.
found the problem yet.
Is there a chance that we could just put that difference on hold and then see where our water bill comes in next year? Just to see if there is a problem, or?
Let's make her whole, pay it ourselves, the difference. Let her pay 125, we'll throw in the extra. I just think
We
it
can
sets a
put
bad
note on
precedent,
the bills and watch it next year, and if it happens again,
because there is a leak that nobody knows about somewhere.
someplace, I mean, yeah, or she used the water.
Or, yeah.
And
yeah,
we're
or
sure she
use the
lives
water,
alone, right? She didn't add people to her household or anything like that.
I mean, you got to use a lot of water to go to
Let's be honest,
60,000
used it
gallons.
somehow, or it happened somehow.
Right.
Maybe watering the lawn more than normal, or, there's a couple of little things that could be. I mean, it's just, you're either gonna help her, do it or not do it. That's just the way we gotta do it. I understand your point. It's not a good precedent, but we've had them up in the hundreds but we found leaks and stuff like that.
Lori, how much water are we talking? Approximately.
Well, I don't know.
Gallons?
Gallons.
You get 60,000 gallons for 125
Right.
gallons.
Right.
Anything over that is 2 3/4 cents per gallon.
2 3/4
Cents per gallon.
Per gallon.
No, that can't be, right. Not 2 cents a gallon, like 0.02, right?
0.00275.
0.002, which is 2/10 of a
Yes, so
cent.
2 tenths, okay, so she went.
It's not 2 cents, it's 2/10 of a
It's
cent.
a substantial amount of water.
Yeah.
Considering.
That's a lot of water for $60.
We had-
I'll make a motion to
We
waive
had
it.
one way more than 400 one time.
Oh, we've had lots of them, yeah,
Yeah,
we had
lots of
thousands of dollars.
But then when we physically go to the house, we found certain
Thanks.
one down on, the toilet was leaking. And the tenant said, well, I told the owner about 3 months ago. So we didn't give them a break because that's it. This is a minor amount. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You saw precedents, it can catch up to you.
Okay, so what is the motion?
The motion's still on the floor. There was a second,
Where are we at with it?
We
Lauren?
haven't voted yet.
no, we haven't.
Just call roll.
Call roll,
So we're sticking with reducing it to the 125.
that's what the roll.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. A motion to go out of water board back to the town board meeting.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So now,
do you want to move to executive session now, and then you can go with the bills for it?
Yeah, we'll move, well, we ran out of water, we can move back into a regular session.
when do you want to do this?
We do that after the executive session.
Okay, so we need a motion to
Come back.
move into executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Me or me?
All right.
There's a list, just guys, just before we do it, I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing. And if I'm wrong with this, I pulled up the conduct of executive sessions. Matters which may imperil the public safety, any matter in which may disclose the identity of a law enforcement agent or informer, information relating to current or future investigation or prosecution of a criminal offense, which would imperil effective law enforcement, discussions regarding proposed, pending, or current litigation, collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a person, preparation, grading, or administration of examinations, and the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property, or proposed acquisition of securities or sale or exchange of securities held by public body, but only when publicly would substantially affect the value, and attendance at an executive session shall be permitted to any member of the public body and other persons authorized by the public body. So I'm sorry, that shouldn't have been, but does any of that fall under what we're talking about?
Can I speak to that?
Yep.
The answer is no, it does not, but you seem to have, I don't know why, eliminated the reading of the full reading of subsection F, which says, or, and I'm quoting it verbatim, and I have the statute in my hand. It says, or matters, and I'm gonna only pick the words that are relevant because it's very wordy because a lawyer wrote it. It says, or matters leading to the appointment of a particular person or corporation. It's Public Officers Law, section 105, 1F, most of which you just read, but maybe it wasn't on your phone. But the second part of that says, I'm gonna quote it again, or matters leading to the appointment of a particular person or corporation. Since if we understand correctly, you're proposing to discuss matters leading to the appointment of a particular person or corporation. It's extremely crystal clear, black, white, not subject to legal debate.
Is a law for your law firm is a corporation?
First of all, yes,
Okay.
it's a limited liability company, but you know, if this is the direction you want to go, then if we're really wasting our time, just tell us that.
No, I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing. That way we have everybody in town that's looking to tell us how wrong we are all the time. So I just want to make sure that we're doing the correct thing. That's all.
So
It's
I
pretty
can
simple,
assure-
just like we do every day.
So we can assure you that this falls within that language. And if you want to tell the constituents that if for some reason they don't believe that, they should contact the New York State Committee on Open Government, and we can give the telephone number that you can disseminate to that entity if you like.
All right,
Do a
so
roll.
we'll move into the executive session. We have a motion and a second. All right, so you've got to read now.
Okay, we're going on mute, guys. We'll be back.
Go ahead.
Are you all aware that Pamela Petties is the new deputy supervisor?
Yes,
I'm just asking everybody. I hope you all know that. And Danny Waterhouse is now a councilman.
Correct.
Huh. What does that mean, Stan?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
He's no longer the deputy supervisor, the job that he didn't know what to do for 15 years.
Okay.
that's bottom line, Stan. Tell them.
The job that he was sitting on his hands and didn't know what his job was for 15 plus years and was
I
getting
guess,
paid.
I guess he's not gonna
Listen, out
collect.
there, whoever's talking, we can hear you. Please end your conversation so we can get this done, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
All
Please
right.
do not discuss it. I don't know why we can hear you, but you can't hear us.
Because your person running the Zoom doesn't know what they're doing.
Lou,
What was the big meeting at the Waterhouse
just a
last?
second.
I thought it was closed. What was that meeting at the Waterhouse last night? I thought it was closed.
Go ahead.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you're still there with us. We just came out of an executive session, no decision was made. And we're gonna move on with a motion from another attorney.
Did you get the bills?
Oh, yeah.
Want me to go get them? Where are they?
They're right there on the table on my office.
In the brown thing?
Yeah. I thought you guys read them already before last meeting. That's why I didn't bring them on.
I think that's your microphone.
Mike, did you,
No, it's still my.
Mike,
Yes.
did you look at the bills?
I don't know if I did last month or not. I think we did.
Did we?
I think you did, but I.
If we did, fine.
Just to look at the signatory pages.
That's all.
I didn't think we did that far. Bandings here. Bandings here. We didn't go.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Waterhouse. Sure. That's why I like my phone right now.
Nobody's viewed these. Nothing.
I think most of those bills I signed, so. Yes, no.
You haven't signed any of these.
No, those bills, the actual
In
bill,
here?
yeah. Right, Gene? Most of those bills I signed.
I'm not sure. I didn't look at yours. Yeah, most of the vouchers.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
I think I signed them all, or saw them all already. General, that's
These people.
yeah, that's it. That's wait, general code, that's down payment for that thing. Those are my planning board people. Maybe Mason, I bought more masks and stuff. Did you see the sales tax numbers? And the 21%, right?
And they, that's, they didn't do finish.
Mike,
The September should be.
Yeah, what would they project them out?
No, well, it's not finished yet, but it should be a good month, the hurricane, which we don't know, how usually have a hurricane as a September.
We lost it this quarter, but the last quarter should be good now. You read the APA thing. APA thing, you read that. The APA,
Yeah.
that the milfoil wasn't as bad as it said,
Yeah.
we thought, saw that. Okay,
So that's why we gotta get back after next year. Ready?
One left.
thank you.
Okay. Just so you know. All right.
And resolution 135 of 2021, authorizing payment of monthly vouchers of the ninth abstract.
Make motion.
Dan,
I'll second it.
Dave,
Yes, ma'am.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0.
Yeah.
This is a motion, it does not have a resolution number. Are we making this a resolution if it's voted on?
Yes.
Resolution 146 of 2021. Town meetings, virtual and municipal building access. Effective immediately pursuant to the New York State Town Law, Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 3, attached below, in the public notice posted by the town board on September 13th, 2021. All town meetings shall be held remotely, virtually via Zoom through January 15th, 2021. This includes all town board meetings, all planning board meetings, and all zoning board of appeals meetings. Further, all meetings with the town assessor or town zoning planning office shall be held by appointment only. The town justice court shall continue under the direction of OCA, which is Office of Court Administration. Further, effective immediately, access to the main municipal building, senior center excluded, shall be allowed during regular business hours only, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4 p.m. And during regular and special town board meetings, planning board meetings, and ZBA meetings. All other access must receive the consent of the town board. Section 64, general powers of the town board, town chapter 62, article 4.
I think there's just a highlighted spot on the second page. Right, it's in bold. That applies to that law. Right, yeah.
You want me to just?
Just read that part, yeah, that's just,
Okay.
that's the section that.
management, custody, and control of town property shall have the management, custody, and control of all town lands, buildings, and property of the town, and keep them in good repair, and may cause the same to be insured against loss or damage by fire or other hazards.
Isn't that the highlighted part? Or no?
That's the bolded part. There's nothing highlighted on this sheet.
Oh, what's that?
That's just the backup. She doesn't have to
Oh,
read any.
okay, all right.
You want to read it? So you.
No,
No, you're
no,
good.
Reading what you, so what do you want me to read then?
nothing. It's the resolution.
That's just the backup. Is all it is. We're out of the town law file or whatever.
Does Waterhouse
Now
know
you're
how to
gonna
read?
make a
They can read one.
resolution to do
Make
this.
Waterhouse read one.
I don't understand. I'm confused.
Can he read one? Does Danny know how to read?
That's
You wanna
real.
Explain it then, or, you know,
Up there, let me see it.
I'm confused myself.
There's nothing highlighted.
If you want to step up and be a
Okay, this is the resolution we're making. That,
show us your grammar skills.
all,
Rail, I'm
You know
gonna
what?
ask you to
If this-
please
if
mute
this kid
yourself or I'm
keeps
gonna cut you off the meeting, okay?
mute them out. All town meetings shall be remotely, virtually via Zoom through January 15th, 2021.
Well, we got that already.
I didn't think we made a, we had it in the,
We need a resolution.
Yeah, you didn't have, yeah.
because you had the other meeting with the people. Right, so this is the resolution just stopping. Right?
You don't have to worry, that I won't stop it.
We still need the
Go ahead,
resolution.
make the resolution.
Yep, I'll make the resolution.
So Dan,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Carried 4-0.
Town of Queensbury just went all virtual for their school boards.
Okay, so now we are at reports.
Oh, you got
There's
you got
two other
you got two
ones.
other ones there. Gene has one in his hand, right?
Oh, that's, I couldn't figure
There's
out.
1, 2, and 3. There's 3 of them we handed.
Okay, number 2.
Oh, there's number 2. I only have. number
I only
three.
have a 2. I don't have a 3.
There's the three.
Okay. So this will now be resolution number 147 of 2021.
Can I ask a question before, when was this made?
When was this made?
When was this all put together? Did you have a town meeting or?
No,
or the
we
town-
did, we discussed it on foliage.
On the phone,
Mike drew it up.
but these resolutions, according to open government, you have a meeting, 2 days in advance notified to the town clerk.
To come up with any resolution,
Huh?
to make any resolution?
When you have to make resolutions or anything, if you're gonna hold a meeting,
We didn't hold a meeting, I just told you that.
well, you were on the phone, that's I told them.
So if you call me, just the two of us, that's a meeting?
We can talk.
Yeah.
But not when you have all 4 of
We
you.
didn't
We
do it
didn't,
that
I
way,
just
Gene.
said it, we just called each other.
Huh?
We just called each other.
Not a conference call, not anything like that. We did it the right way. I know you don't want to believe that, nor does
Well, you
anybody,
know,
but
You're not using the open meetings, like you're gonna have something like this, it should be notified so people can, even the clerk should be.
we've introduced legislation resolutions before at meetings, haven't we?
At meeting, when we're all sitting here.
Well, what are we doing now?
No. All right, go ahead, I'm not.
No,
I'm-
if
I'm
you
not-
say we're wrong, then tell us why we're wrong, Gene.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Town checks and payroll effective immediately pursuant to New York State Town Law, Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 1, attached below. All checks issued by the Town of Lake Luzerne shall require the signature of both supervisor and Councilman Waterhouse. This includes all checks in any amount inclusive of payroll. Further, all payroll must be reviewed and certified by the supervisor prior to payroll being approved for payment. The supervisor must certify all payroll to assure payroll is being issued consistent and in full compliance with the employer-employee policy in effect as past January 1st, 2013. Further, the supervisor must certify that all hours being paid for every hourly employee is for those hours actually worked and that overtime is not being paid at 4-hour minimum call-in, as Supervisor Molino has authorized in the past without town board approval.
That's not true.
And then resolution 85 of 2021 is repealed. What is that resolution?
That was the deputy supervisor signing the checks.
It was when Dan was approved to sign checks.
No, I think that was over the $1,500 when we both signed it.
Okay, 2 signatures. Okay. I just didn't know what it was for. Okay. So,
Was it 1,000? Yeah, 1,000.
okay, can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Here.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 4-0. Okay, resolution 148 of 2021. Town property, real personal. That's a tough word for me. Et cetera. Effective immediately pursuant to New York State Town Law, Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 64, 2 and 2A. The supervisor shall not and may not trade, sell, purchase, lease, acquire, or dispose of any town property, real, personal, intellectual, or otherwise, without town board approval. In 2019, without the town board knowledge or approval, Supervisor Molino sold the town boat and purchased another boat. And the town board nor the taxpayers have any knowledge or information about the money received or the money paid. All town property, real, personal, intellectual, and otherwise must be fully accessible to every town board member during regular business hours, 9 AM to 4 PM.
Mitchell.
Motion.
Yep.
Motion,
I'll make the motion.
second,
So,
On a
You know,
question,
with that. oh,
Hold on.
go ahead, go ahead, yeah.
hold on. Who's seconding that?
Who seconded that down there?
I did.
right, I'm gonna just in a slight defense of myself. Where did that come about that I sold that boat? I have a letter in the file from Aqualogic stating personally, it's there, it's dated back 2 years ago, that was a trade.
Trade is a sale, Gene.
Where did the money come
Trade is
from?
a sale.
No, it's not a sale.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
When you
There's no money involved in it.
Did we get any value? Did we get any value towards the new boat?
Huh?
Did we get any value towards the new boat that we got when you traded that in?
We didn't trade it, we just
You
swapped it.
just said you did.
Mike, don't argue with me, give me the chance.
You just said you traded it. I'm not arguing with
We
you.
traded the boat for a better boat, that's
Right.
all we did, with no charges, no extra.
Right.
Read the letter.
Was the town board,
You weren't even here when that happened,
I'm-
so read the letter.
was the town board approved
Gene,
The town board knew what's going on. They
Gene,
tried,
I did not know.
Through a
that was
resolution?
Going on. You told me, Gene, that boat, because when I asked you about that newer boat, you said, no, it's the same boat we've always had, is exactly what you told me, sir.
Gene,
You never told me that it was a different
move
boat.
on, I'm not gonna.
Larry, just a correction possibly. Motion number 1, you said that was 146,
What's that?
is that correct? Resolution,
Yes,
I think, resolution 146 is
yes, you're correct.
already been taken,
Yeah, it should be 147.
so that will be number 147.
Number 2 would be.
Number
148.
2 is number 48
This is 44.
and 49, correct, ma'am?
Yes,
Thank you.
Before you call the roll on that,
The only
Yeah, I got
reason, Gene, in regards to that, we paid $1,500 for the original boat, correct?
1,500, I have all that in the folder, yeah.
Right. We spent another
1,200.
$12,000
Yep.
in regards to redoing it,
And that
correct?
was approved and passed by the board.
I'm just saying, we spent another $12,000. So that's approximately $13,000 plus dollars
Right.
on a value of that boat that we had owned, correct, sir?
Right.
Do you figure the boat we received was worth 13,000?
the boat we received and traded that one?
That is
Correct.
correct, sir.
Definitely more, because it was a newer boat with a better motor.
A better motor, it had an 8 horsepower motor on it.
The motor's almost brand new.
Right, right. But what was the horsepower on the one when you traded? Or
80.
whatever
It
you're
was like
phrasing.
an 80. It was
80
one-
horsepower.
It was dripping water, oil in the lake, and the pontoons were leaking.
Right.
And that was all brought out.
What money do we have to put in the one we got, Gene, after we got the boat? What did we put into it again? To get the center console and all that other stuff?
5,000?
5,000.
They approved it, 5,000. It was supposed to be 350, but they wanted to keep the larger pump. We went to a smaller pump,
Mhm.
so it went to 5,000. That's what we put into that boat.
Right, so then figure about $18,000 to $20,000 that boat should be of value. with the
I
one that
would still like to know, which, I'm sorry, Mike,
So we
where
talked,
is our old equipment that was supposed to come back to this facility?
That I can, but I assumed it was on the boat. I don't know. I can find out.
The big pump,
Huh?
the big trash pump is in fact.
The big one, is it?
No.
Then he still has it, and I'll get it here, but.
That, the air pump, the hoses, there was a complete list.
Right.
We have not
That's supposed to come
received this material.
back. Okay, well, I didn't know that. You know, the boat disappeared, and I don't know it, so. The
so
boat was not, I got no money. You're making it sound like I got money. I sold. it.
nobody's saying that, Gene, but the
Nobody
point,
ever
the
said
point
you put
is,
money in
when
your
you do
pocket.
things without board approval or letting people know what's going on, those assumptions can be drawn. Remember, Mr. Shield accused you of paying off a gambling debt when you gave the roof job out right at the meeting? Those are lines that can be drawn when you don't put things out for everybody to either approve,
You can
disapprove.
say anything. I could say a lot of things about you.
I'm not
but I
saying,
don't.
I didn't say it, Gene.
Yeah, well,
I didn't say it. I'm just saying assumptions
I'm
can
not
be
gonna
made
argue.
when rules aren't followed. It's
Finish
that
your
simple.
argument. You guys wanted to defame my character and take away my legacy in this town. And your attorney, I did not ask for $1,000.
Gene,
Um,
Do you want to get into it? Because we didn't bring up any of this stuff. I have the list of all the stuff that was turned over to the controller, right? Supervisor sold town property and purchased town property, the boat, that was brought, but let me finish. We didn't make any of this stuff up. This was all stuff that was said at a public meeting by townspeople.
Because people say it
But
makes it
you're
true.
not, Gene, let me finish. I'm not trying to
I'm not
over,
gonna debate it. Let's
I'm
move
not
on. We
asking
got
you to
people on
debate it.
on this website here.
this was said by townspeople.
Who's the townspeople? Name them.
It was Mr. Herring. It was Glenn Shield. Right? So let me ask you, as a town board, when all this stuff is brought up, what would you do? If you were on the town board and all this stuff was brought up?
I would come and ask you first before you put out that ridiculous resolution personally, but that didn't happen. You just want me to look bad. I have no problem with it. I know what I
We
did for
asked
this
you-
town. For 15 years, I put my heart and soul in it. And somebody like you comes along, you're not even elected yet, and you know.
Every one of these
you weren't-
points?
You weren't even there by 90% of that, so I'm not gonna debate it. I can't get it.
Whether I was here or not does not make you right or wrong.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
Hate to tell you that.
We'll
But
move on, just get the meeting.
no, I'm not done yet. We'll move on when I'm done. Okay? We're all part of the same board. You're not the boss, you're not the king, believe it or not. We'll move on when I'm done. You want to talk about all this stuff? This stuff was brought by current employees, ex-employees, and townspeople. The town board did not bring one of these things up. We did not dig any of this stuff up. We did the right thing by moving it forward to the proper authorities to let them vet it out and the chips fall where they fall.
Let them
So
vet it.
why are you vilifying us for doing the right thing? Are you saying if you were on the town board and somebody brought all this stuff, you would not forward it to the proper authorities
I let
for,
them vet it. I want them. to
that's not
vet it.
what's my question. What would you do if you were in our
I'd
shoes?
probably do the same thing, but I
Okay.
questioned first, make sure. it was
You
right
were
information.
questioned. You were questioned at every meeting and you denied every bit of it, except for the boat. Because at one meeting you slammed your hand down and said, well, I did it. That was your answer.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, move on. That's fine. It's done. When they come back, and then when they come back, and if I get vilified, then I have my own report.
Yep, and every single person that you have, that you're using as a lackey for yourself, you have to look them in the eye. Just remember that. And you know when you look
I
in the
can
mirror.
look anybody in the eye.
Good.
I
I'm sure
look
you can.
anybody in the eye.
I'm sure you can.
All right. Well, I can look anybody in the eye.
I'm sure.
All right, let's move
Hold
on.
on, we got a motion on the floor, but just wanted to make one comment. Pam, we asked you for a thumb drive so we could put, Bobby English did a great video. You know the video, we paid for it years ago. Mike and I asked you for a video as a town board member, so we want to put it online, and you said you have to ask Mr.
We have to
Molino.
go through.
Because it does not belong to the
chamber. It was, I was,
It-
I was not.
Belongs to the
deputy-
town board.
I
It
was
belongs to the
not-
town.
I was not the deputy supervisor at the time when I was asked for that.
Yesterday you weren't?
When you asked for it, Jamie. asked
What did
for
you tell me
mine.
yesterday?
Same thing.
So that,
But it's the town's
Why
property.
didn't you ask me for it?
what, why didn't
She
you?
had it in her
I
possession.
told you about it. I said that
She
you, either
just told me
you,
yesterday.
And did you tell her that it was okay to give it to James?
She can have anything she wants.
Okay.
I'm
It's
just
not a
finding this
contract.
stuff out, Mike.
What-
You know,
what's the
you
difference, man?
examine this
well,
stuff.
You were stonewall, as president of the chamber, you stonewalled somebody who was looking to bring people into this town and do the right thing because of your alliance with Gene, which that's great, if that's the way you want to do it.
I did
You want me to
not
read
do
the
that.
email?
I did not.
Would you like me to read the email?
Gene, you may want to call Bob English too.
Excuse me,
because
can I just
Bob
say,
English
let's
was
finish
upset.
This is
vote?
discussion over that stuff.
We didn't have a-
Well, it's there. I mean, it's there. It's right in the.
We're not, she was denying us access to it, Gene. She said we had to go through you because it was town
Well, it'd be
property.
nice that I know about it, you know.
Yes.
Well, didn't
But
we,
it doesn't matter.
we already gave Jamie permission to do whatever she needed to do a good job. So why would we have to go to you for one piece of thing when we've never come to you for
So I
anything
know
else?
about it. When it's gone, I don't say, where did it go? It should be respectful to ask me.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You can go there right now and I'll give it to you.
It's not on
But
a
I'd like to
contract.
Well, why
make a
would-
I'd like to make a copy of it first, so we don't.
Well, that's what Jamie was gonna do. And Pam knew that. Pam knew that. It was all in the emails. If you want to see the emails, I'm happy to bring them up. She stonewalled what she is in charge of, bringing heads to beds. That's all I'm saying.
It's not the chamber property. It is.
That's not-
Norman House. Gene, however he paid for that 8, 10 years ago, that belongs to the town.
Correct.
I was not gonna go take that and then Gene come to me and say, well, where is it?
Did you not know that Dan and myself are on the tourism committee?
No, I did not know
You
that.
didn't,
You
which is.
call Pam.
You don't have a list of that?
Come on, Pam.
All right,
Let's, this is discussion over that. This is discussion on that
That
thing,
personal
Gene.
property.
The town's property.
All right.
You did not know that Dan and I were on the
Well,
tourism
probably
board?
on the thing, I don't memorize, I did not memorize them, but there is no thumb drive that I know of. What Gene had, it's a disc,
It's a
CD.
Okay,
So one.
that's here nor there, Pam.
Well, if it's taken,
Did you not know that the town board is in control of town property as a whole, Gene
well,
included?
then why did you have to ask me?
Well, wasn't gonna kick the door into the chamber because I'm respectful.
Today, the chamber.
It wasn't open all weekend.
That isn't up to me to open it. I do not open the chamber.
You're the president.
It's not our building. It is a town building. We have our office in
Okay.
there. That is up, the supervisor opens that.
Okay.
Or a deputy supervisor opens that. I do not.
That was you.
Yeah,
That was you, Pam.
well, when
Just
it's
so you know
open,
that you're
we do that.
deputy supervisor. I want to make
I
sure you're,
realize.
okay.
And
Mike,
that's
you want
fine.
that, you can have it tomorrow. She had no control over it.
Yes, she
People
did,
that-
Gene.
No,
Do you have a
she
key
didn't.
for that building?
Yes, I do. for
Okay,
our
then you
office.
had control over it.
Well, if she could put it on a thumb drive then and we could get our disc back.
You never
Yeah.
gave her the opportunity, Pam. You told her no. You told her no. Am I wrong? I have the
No, you're
emails, so
not
think
wrong.
before you answer. Okay? So before we go any further with that, I also wanted to bring up something that's
We
in,
gotta vote.
this is all part of this.
Okay, all right.
All right, so under town law, section 42, article 3, it reads, just gonna find it here. Any person, including a town officer, official, or employee may be appointed deputy supervisor, providing that person appointed shall possess the same qualifications as an elective town officer. Before he or she shall perform any function, the deputy officer must take the oath and all that. So with your total lack of knowledge on anything that we just talked about, Mr. Merlino, you think that she's more qualified than anybody on this board to be deputy supervisor?
Yes,
Why is that?
because she's been staying at meetings for 2 years. I see her at every meeting.
So
She
going to
understands
attendance
what
at
goes
meetings
on.
is qualifications in your mind?
She's also president of chamber. She's on the planning board, zoning board,
Planning board.
and she's involved in the town. So
So as deputy supervisor, do you feel she should know who's on what committees, especially after we've interacted countless times and gone probably 50 emails back and forth? All of a sudden you have amnesia, Pam?
but, you know, if you ask me the same question, to be honest with you, I know all
Mike,
those things.
you
you
are
guys
nothing
talk, but I don't
but a
memorize every
bully.
one of them. If somebody asks me a question, I can get an
Mike-
answer.
Yeah.
I can't tell her what each.
She
one
didn't
is.
try that though, Gene. Her answer to me was no. It's town property and you have to go through Supervisor Molino to get it.
You made it, right? You made it?
No, right. So with that, with what I said, I'm gonna make a motion that we remove Pam as deputy supervisor, reappoint Dan Waterhouse as deputy supervisor. I'm not asking for your answer. I just said I'm making a motion to do that, just so it's on the record that she is not qualified to be deputy supervisor.
Are you qualified to be a board member?
So that's, if you can find it somewhere where it says I'm not, I was appointed by you. You voted for me.
Well, I've never seen you at a meeting except.
You voted for me.
Mark McLean.
Did you vote for me?
I did vote for you.
Thank you.
To be honest, with you, I did.
And you were probably the one, you and Mr. Zubel were the ones that recruited me the most to be on the town board
That's
over,
all right. That's it.
because
You're
you thought I was a
100%
yes
right.
man.
Something changed. And I
Yeah,
don't know what.
everything that Mr. Shield, Mr. Bob Shield, Mr. Herring, and all the other ex-employees and current employees brought forth at all these meetings did change me, Gene. It changed me a lot as to how I viewed you. You were always my friend, and somewhere in my heart,
You changed when I wouldn't get put Mark McLean in jail for the cemetery. That's when you changed.
because you gave me the information at the post office to do it. And then you said, do what you gotta do. You gave me the spreadsheet with all the
That's
checks.
what I said. If you want to do it, do it.
And then you
Not
held,
me.
and obviously you're still holding it against me. You're the one who gave me the information from the
And
checkbook.
that's when you should have did, you should have took care of it.
I
It's
did.
Not my job.
I did. And the only way I know how, come and be public. I'm not the guy who's gonna go into your office and talk like you say. Why don't we just handle it in the office, not at the boardroom? That's not how government's done. Transparent government is run here so everybody can see what's going on, not in your office the way you've done it. That's what's changed.
Yeah, okay. Well, can we move on now so we can get out of
We
here?
have the roll call.
All right, Fazio, you made the motion, Lewandowski seconded it.
That's to remove me.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
No, this is the town property. All in favor?
You don't have the right to
Opposed?
mute us.
What time do you want to meet down there tomorrow? I will give it to you. Is it still in that recorder?
That's unreal.
What time do you want to meet down there, Mike?
Whatever time you tell me.
I can meet you down there at, can you do 7:45?
Sure,
I will get it out. As far as I know, that's where it is.
appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, what else?
I have a motion on the table to remove Pam as deputy supervisor and replace her with Dan Waterhouse because he is the most qualified person in all of us. And that's not a knock on you, not a knock on anybody. Dan is the most qualified. He's been here for 15 years under your leadership.
That's an appointment by the supervisor. I don't
That's
think-
an appointment.
No, I'm just saying, it is, but according to this
It's not a-
case,
It's not a voted item.
I know
It's an
that, Gene. I'm
appointment.
just saying, according to the law that I just read, the most qualified person should be deputy supervisor. And if you just think that
And I had the most qualified person that I thought was good until the last year.
until he did the right thing,
Himself.
until he did the right thing.
No, he met himself. He didn't know what his job was. So come on, don't say he was the right man and I can't. put
I'm
him
gonna
back
say
on.
that because you know how great leaders perform? They make other great leaders.
Yeah.
Poor to mediocre leaders make sheep, which is what you wanted.
You're very good at all the analogies. and I
It's the
appreciate
truth.
that.
Great leaders make great
But that's
leaders.
an appointment of the
Right.
supervisor.
I'm just putting it
It's
on the
not a
record
votable
that
item.
Pam, nothing personal against her, is not the most qualified person to be.
Well, it is
Deputy.
personal when you're saying that.
It's your call. You're the man.
Pam is my deputy right now. At the end of the year, you want to change it, but your decision. So I'm not gonna-
I'll make a motion, we hire this firm as our attorney.
Well, give me a day to read it and look at it?
Well, how
This
we
is the
gonna
first I'm
hire-
seeing it.
When are
Well,
we
we
gonna-
gotta wait another month then.
We had to wait almost 3 weeks to do this one.
There's a motion on the floor.
You want to do it? Make the
Well,
motion. Make the
I
motion.
already made the motion.
All right, you got a second?
A second.
Call the roll.
Who are we hiring? 'Cause I don't have that.
This one right here.
Ashley,
So did you guys say who you're hiring on the record?
No, I was waiting for you to read it. All I know is that John Asplin, but the firm is it's written right there.
Motion on the floor is to hire Fitzgerald, Morris, Baker, and Firth, PC, for the town attorneys. Is it December 31st?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed? I think they're not as qualified as the other one that we had. That's just my opinion. All right.
This attorney does though, Gene, like we talked
What
about,
else?
does
What else,
represent the
Mike?
town. I'm telling
What
you,
else?
this attorney does represent the town already. He's participating, our insurance company, our town's insurance company did hire
How many
him.
towns do they represent?
This,
How many towns do they represent?
that wasn't what I was saying, but I don't know that answer. But this attorney is working for the insurance company that we have to defend us against the wrongful
That's a
death
total
suit at the
different thing
bridge.
than running the town. How much they know about town law compared to the other company that was just.
They're very highly respected on that. Many they
They're not-
represent.
They don't, how many towns do they have? How many towns do they run? They run Queensbury. They run 6 more in this county, and they have about 18 in Saratoga and around Washington County. They're town
Wouldn't you like to
attorneys.
see that lawsuit settled first before we brought it
And the
on?
lady you want to bring on is
All right,
under,
all right, you voted on it, we're gonna do it.
but you just asked a question. Now you don't want to answer?
I don't want to answer because the answer is what you
I'm
want to say,
sure.
not what's right.
Does everybody know that the law firm that you wanted to bring on is in big trouble right now with the county?
Move on.
Yeah, of course.
You said
Move.
it already, I don't have to listen.
We said it before, but not so everybody knows, which I'm sure that you don't want. But this lady that you wanted to bring on is just
I'm
the
not bringing her on, I'm bringing her
firm on,
firm on.
right?
I mean, she might not represent here, he told you might have different people.
Being part of that firm is still,
She's one that
Yeah,
signed,
that's-
signed the proposal on the bottom of it. Her name was on the bottom.
She could be held liable for over $1 billion that the county's insurance company will not cover,
We don't have to.
will not cover. So that means it falls in the lap of everybody in Warren County to pay for her malfeasance. And
All right.
it's 5 judges ruled against her.
Can we move on to reports?
Yeah, let's move on.
Is everybody in agreement? We can move on to reports.
Yes.
The town clerk's office, we have given you our report for the month of August. We've submitted the zoning enforcement officer's report and the dog control officer's report. You all have those in your packet. And that's all we have.
Okay.
Correspondence is also in your packets.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that your
That
report?
was-
Highway Superintendent Ron
I had a few things on the agenda that were not on any of this, so I just want to know how the board feels on a water department truck.
I can make a comment on that if you'd like to hear it. Instead of buying a truck, I thought about this. Why don't you buy a trailer?
A trailer?
Yeah, you could put all your equipment, I mean, you see them running up and down the road, all construction people have them. You know, one of them black ones on the road, big enough to keep all your equipment in, you could hook it up to any vehicle, or leave it when you're not using it. It'd be a lot cheaper than going after a new truck, or a used truck.
Well,
We can discuss it, I mean, we don't have to have it.
I think it's a good
I
idea.
think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great
Really good
idea.
idea.
let me look into it. And I will give you next month some information on what I would like to see. So I guess we'll,
No, I mean, you look at that, you see every day up and down the road, most big construction companies, they put piping in there, all the shelves in there and everything else. Then it's not dragged around, not used for other things, it sits in the park lot.
yeah,
when you need it,
I'm
hook it
not
up, you
gonna
go.
disagree with you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, let me just look into it and I wanna.
And what would be nice about a trailer is you don't have to worry about the motor, the transmission, anything like that. You hook it up to any vehicle and tow it, so.
Yep.
And you might have more capacity than you would in a truck.
Okay, that's where you guys are on that. The pull behind grader, I'm just gonna hold off on that, so maybe next year. But I'm really interested in getting a man lift. Not only that we can use this for brushing for us. The buildings and grounds can use it around this building. They could use it around the water tower up there. They could use it around their building down there, their garage, because that's a high roof. And they can use it anytime to put up their Christmas lights. So this is gonna be something that's versatile between both of our departments.
Is this like a tow behind one, Ronnie, or is this? one of
No,
those-
this is one that we can, it drives down the road and you can operate it from the bucket. That way we can start brushing and just work our way right down the road. And it's gonna be tall enough to get to the umbrellas of these trees.
75 feet, right?
I wanna do a 60 footer. you take some of these trees and these canopies out, let more sun in, less salt that we have to use for the winter.
You may want to check with insurance on that too. Huh?
Yes.
60 foot, probably.
Operators and
And it's
everything else.
inspected every year, so it's OSHA approved, everything. These buckets that we use,
Get some quotes together, let's see.
I got a few, but I'll have more for the next meeting.
For as much as you use it, Ron, you don't think it'd be more beneficial just to rent one? Or would it be, you really think that, is
$2,000 a week,
that what it is?
yeah, and I'm looking to use it religiously before winter hits. You can actually even use it through winter, we can just, if there's snow banks, we can use it up high. So it's something that we can use all year long. I got 33,000 in my 0.4, and for 60 foot, you're looking into the 50 range, so might have to take some out of fund balance. I got that white sweeper that still needs to go on the auction, so we can replenish that with the cost of that. So I want to know how.
Have you declared that surplus yet?
Huh?
Have you declared all that surplus?
What's that?
Have you declared it surplus?
The
Your white
sweeper?
one, yeah.
No, because I've been in contact with the town of Queensberry, and they might be interested. So I want to see what their thoughts about it before I throw it on there and get rid of it. So,
Now, this was the second one, Ron, that we agreed was gonna go surplus when we bought the other one?
no, the second one I'm keeping.
The floor,
The
or the
one we
first
got
one?
from Warrensburg, and I'm gonna have, it's always gonna be tandem to clean the roads. All right, it's the 97 white one there.
So that's the third one.
Yes. All right, and I would like to budget transfer out of my fund balance 2,500, so I can replace the saws that have been stolen. I have not replenished all my saws since then.
Did we put a claim into the insurance company for that?
We did get money back from the insurance company.
How much? I don't remember. We did do
It
something.
was like 4,500. So I got only 2 saws right now. So I would like a budget transfer. Can you vote on that now?
From where to where, Ron?
Excuse me.
From,
Fund balance to the Russian weeds, 5112 point.
So you're looking for $2,500,
Yeah,
and you did get back 4,
yes.
so there should be no.
That'll get me 3 more saws, which
That should. You want to make a motion? Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we do that for him.
I'll second him.
all in favor?
Aye.
Carried 5-0.
I've got DEC coming to me because they want to work with us in a contract to do some upgrades up on, at Pikes Beach area and the site before that.
Where's that, Rod? I'm sorry.
Pikes Beach, up by,
Okay.
There and at the Y in Buttermilk. And then 1 or 2 sites more before it crosses over to Warrensburg. I talked with them. I can do it, but I'm gonna do it at my leisurely time. They have money to reimburse us on anything that we do. It's move rocks, place stone for outline the parking areas, dig out fireplaces, put new ones in. So I believe that we might need a resolution from the town for me to go on their property to do this work. I have to give them an estimate. I gave them one last year, but it never came out because the money wasn't there. Supposedly the money's there. So if the town board wants me to do that, I guess they have to pass a
Do
resolution.
you have time to do that?
It's throughout the next 2 years. It's not like something that needs to be done right away.
Right.
So if we gotta move stone or rocks, it's raining out or something, we can do that with a loader and I told them that, you know, it'd be very slim that I do anything this year, and they were fine with that. It's the next 2 years.
Can we get some kind of a written agreement with them? Yeah.
I don't have a written agreement, but I can. I just got the scope of work that they want done at each site. It's right here. If you guys want them, I'll photocopy them and give them to you.
I think you gotta get a written agreement with them and specifying that whatever work we put in, make it an X amount of money, and we'll put it in, they are gonna reimburse it. Then
Right, I'm gonna put that in. I need to put that in before we could do any of the work.
That's what I'm saying, we need to get a written contract from them.
We should probably run it by our new attorney too, just to make sure that before we sign it or agree to anything.
Yep, no problem. I just want the authority to go on their property from the town board, so I'm not in trouble.
We'll go ahead with it as far as I'm concerned, but it's gotta have a written contract before we do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
You wanna do a resolution?
Well, are we gonna, do you think we should sign that contract, Gene, or before have attorney look at it first, or have a contract submitted to us?
It's not gonna come for a couple of weeks. So
Right.
Well, I think we ought to wait for that period of time.
Yeah.
We can ask, we have plenty of times. I probably won't do anything till the spring if I do. So
Right.
I've got time.
Put the paperwork together, Ron, bring it in, okay?
Yep, all right, the Fourth Lake State Campground, they did a hydrant flow test and they do want to, connect to our water system. They
Isn't that-
will. I
Right, you
need
just
to-
said there's a 4-inch line there now, though, right? It's not a
What's
6-inch
that?
line.
No, that's a 4-inch line that went to the hydrant. There's a 6-inch line that goes up
Up
all
the
the way to
center.
Harris's. They are. It's like very minimal at peak. The supply of water they want. It's not much at all.
It's not for the whole campground, right? It's just for.
No, it's
three
just
sites.
the upper half. And, they want to get on the next month's agenda and come and they'll explain
Did
everything.
they come here? a
They
year
did,
ago?
yeah, they did.
They have come in, they
Yeah.
said they wanted a line across, they would pay for it.
They are paying everything and I told them if they do that, I want to replace that hydrant at their cost.
At their cost, good man.
So are we gonna have a meter on it or just? give them a-
Yep, they're having a meter pit on the other side of the road. All right, I'm just forewarning you that they want to. And, I think it'll be fine. It's at all their expense.
Spring or this fall?
I think it's gonna be spring. Yeah, but, I'll talk with Lori, I guess, and then get them on the next month's agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing I got is, I had 3 guys go to the water class for the class B, and they all passed.
Nice.
So we now have 3 people that can check the chlorine down at the chlorination. Perfect. That's all I have.
Oh, just, don't they have to work doing the job for the,
Year.
They have to do hours, but all their hours, when they work on these hydrants or the water system, counts towards that.
You also wanted them to be able to get in with Teresa.
Yes, they would like to go down and just do a walkthrough down.
Get
at
it
the,
familiar.
that's Thursday.
Yeah.
I thought they
Yeah,
were-
Thursday, let's try and do it like after lunch.
I told them just call me.
Okay.
Are we invited to that too, as we're on the water, and I think that'd be nice.
So, that's all I got for now.
All right, Councilman Waterhouse.
Yeah, I don't know if the Hudson Headwaters got a hold of you, but,
Trailer. Did they ever get that hook up out here? So you talking about the trailer they're gonna have here?
yes, yeah,
We never got it done. What happened with the electric?
everything's back ordered. He said he could,
I think
Rig
they
up
delayed it for-
something?
They delayed it for a month.
yeah,
something like that.
okay. That, and I told you
Well,
about
that'd be a good project.
I'm sorry,
What piece can't they get?
it's like the key piece that goes at the campground that has the,
50 amp
the
service
50 amp,
box.
it's got a.
It's a
110
waterproof disconnect with a plug in the center. So they go up. There's a breaker involved right in that circuit. They can plug in. turn the breaker on, okay, and power their mobile unit.
And we can't get one somewhere, no?
Well, we got one back ordered, but
No, that's what I mean.
yeah, we could go to Dave O'Neill's and steal one out of his.
I talked to Dave about it today, so.
We're going over, borrow one from Dave.
But it has to have a USB port too, because it needs the internet.
All right. Anything else, Dan?
That, the APA, I told you about the Milford. Did you get an email from Tracy today?
Can I get one?
Email from Tracy today? Did you check your email?
No, but I was real busy today.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it.
They're worried that, if we use the Priscilla core in some of those beds, that there's some native stuff in there that would kill as well, so.
You know, whatever.
You did hear that? Okay. That's it.
Okay, well, the lakes that are using it, and it's very successful up north, I don't know why they just pick it up.
Yeah, it was kind of both from Larry Eichler from the RPI and the APA fellow said the same thing.
Okay.
That's all.
Just,
Councilman Lewandowski, oh, sorry,
no, that's okay. Go ahead.
No.
Councilman O'Neill,
I don't know.
I don't have any report. If you're all still there, you're open to privilege to the floor for any questions?
I don't know yet.
So we'll move, we'll move out of that. What's this?
I make a motion for adjournment.
No, wait.
No, no.
You keep muting everybody so we can't talk.
That's open
Touch
to the floor.
base.
Oh, town matters.
Everybody keeps getting muted.
All right, we get a motion adjourned.
Second.
First question.
Why do you keep muting everybody?
I'm not muting anybody. I'm just sitting here.
Being muted.
People have their hands up.
We're trying to talk and you're
It's
muting
you.
us.
There are
Hand up.
100 chats. There are 100 chats. Read the chats.
We don't do that. It's, so-
We are being
I'm not
muted.
gonna read a chat, Gene. I don't know how even how, what's that?
Go mic down.
Yep.
Tell Mike to put his
We
finger
are
away from the
being
screen.
muted.
I'm sorry, I can't still. I even got.
What?
Today, I can't hear.
Put your fat finger away from the screen.
Everyone is being muted.
I'm not muting anybody, Gene. You see my
We
hand?
can
I'm not
hear you.
even near it. Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, none of us. Are we unmuted finally?
We can hear you.
People have their hands raised for questions and waiting to be called on.
Well, then let people talk.
Mike, put that microphone on the other side down.
Sure, I got it. I get it.
First of all,
There.
Okay, now we got it.
First of all, why can't we see the entire board on this Zoom? Why isn't the camera in the front facing everybody? Why are those, we can't see any of the councilmen? And all I hear is paper rustling. That's all I hear.
Who's speaking?
It's Mrs. Merlino.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, fine.
on the desk, if you want to bring it down on there, you can do it. That's probably better.
Put
off.
it in the front of
Well,
the
it's over
room.
now. I mean, it's just public comment anyways, that's all. So
If you're not going to allow the townspeople at the meeting, we should be able to see the entire board. And I don't want to hear people rustling papers and cell phones.
I'll put it down here, or don't give it long enough.
well, at this point, the meting's over. It's just public comment. So if you want me to move it down there, I'll move it down there.
Meeting's just
Get an
begun.
extension cord next time.
Tell them the meeting has just begun.
I don't
All
have
right, we'll take that. Next, anybody else?
Did we figure out about the health insurance? Does the town cover temporary employees?
Can you state your name, please?
My name is Rail, R-A-Y-L, Zubal, Z-U-B-A-L. Does the town's health insurance policy cover temporary employees, yes or no?
No.
Are elected officials temporary employees?
No,
No.
What are they?
they're elected officials.
We're elected officials.
Does the town's health insurance policy cover elected officials? Yes or no?
The councilmen are not covered.
Wait, answer that question. Many years ago, they were. And then we decided that as they leave office, this was maybe 10 years ago, as they leave office, the next person coming on does not get it. And that's the way.
Does it count on a new term?
No. it
From
doesn't.
one
Next-
term to the next, does it count?
No, wait, I don't understand what you're saying, but the next person that comes in does not
I'm
get it.
asking, Danny Waterhouse has had a long time of temporary of health insurance. There are other temporary employees in the town like Stan at the dump who does not have health insurance because he's temporary. Stan works his butt off up at the dump. Danny Waterhouse has been sitting on his hands there, and him and his family have had the deluxo plan paid for by our town. And we have to bring up the extra $2,500 that Deputy Waterhouse has been getting to be Gene's, what is he, your shadow?
Oh, Jesus, Royal.
Yes or no? Is Waterhouse getting another $2,500 to be a shadow?
No, it's just been
No, that,
taken
that
away.
would be Pam.
What? Has
That would be
Waterhouse
Pam.
has Waterhouse ever received an extra $2,500 on top of his salary?
No, not 25, it was 18, right?
Yeah, it's about 18.
Oh, 18. 18 for what?
Being a deputy supervisor, and it's moved over to the new one.
Okay, just as long as everybody in town knows how much money we are dumping in our deputy supervisor right now. Does everybody know with the health insurance and an extra 1,800 to be a shadow? This adds up, doesn't it?
Well, it's not the deputy supervisor now, so. he needs to correct
Well,
that.
yeah, as of a couple days ago. But up until then, how much money has he cost us to sit on his hands? Like the Post-Star said, he stated.
$35,000.
35,000 a year
No, total.
total. How come none of my foils have been answered?
Check with the FOIL officer.
Okay. What is the status of the Ferris lawnmower the Mitchells donated to the town? Is
They
that at your
rescinded.
house?
They rescinded that.
Did town employees bring that lawnmower to your house, Danny? with
No,
the
they
town
did not.
truck?
No, they did not.
Will you put that on record that no, they did not?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's on
put
record
that
right
on
now.
record.
It's
Oh,
on
I
record
hope
right
it
now.
is.
Really, you better
So
get
that-
your info straightened out before you accuse these things.
Look at me, I say the same thing. But.
You know, if you really want to hear some dirt, just
Where is-
ask.
Where is the lawnmower? I don't know.
Where's the
Where is-
lawnmower?
The lawnmower, I bought it.
Oh,
Because-
he bought it.
I
Oh,
bought it.
my God.
Oh, boy. Did Mitchell get a taxable donation write-off form from the town?
No, he did not. They never gave it to the
Okay.
town. They took it back.
Did you ever make a resolution to give it back?
Absolutely. Check it.
What number is it? Duh, come on, what number is it?
Foil
Jesus,
it, you
Royal.
retard. Foil the thing. I
Foil
told
Oh,
you.
you called me a retard. Danny
Rail.
Waterhouse called me a
Foil
retard.
Come on,
All right.
calm down. This is not professional.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
time
not.
to move on.
I have a
Gotta-
retarded
gotta excuse
cousin.
that.
That's not very nice.
Royal. You better get your facts together.
Oh,
See, that's Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
You accepted
Hey,
it?
Fred, do you want to say something?
Did you pass a resolution to accept it?
How do you know?
What do you want to do?
Hello? Hello, Stan. I'm Stan.
Are we
Hello?
doing- These people are going bonkers here. We gotta let them talk
Hey,
or
now you
not.
see what I go.
Who's up?
Honey, it's not. I don't like it either.
I'm just talking
You
about the
gotta
public that we're inconveniencing, Gene. You can sit here and talk all night if you want, but these people want to talk.
Huh, how do you do this?
Let him talk.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Fred, go ahead and talk.
Am I on?
Yes.
You're on, Fred. Go ahead.
Okay, a couple questions if I may. Number one, I guess would be, if the town hall and everything is gonna be closed down, are we gonna have to pay a cleaning person to clean these areas that we're not gonna be using? Now that's a question. Now is our computer person here getting paid to run this, program that we're on? I don't know the fancy name of it.
is that person getting paid? And one other question is, when Mr. Gooch or whatever his name from the Post-Star showed up, somebody on the board or the lawyer or an associate had to leak that information to the Post-Star. Would that person please stand up or raise their hand if they can? And final question, I guess, is earlier in the program, you were talking about how Mr. Molino does not.
Hold on.
Frederick, we don't understand your question. I'm sorry. We want to answer you.
Which
but I
one,
just-
which one? Which question?
The one you're on
Where you
right
ask
now.
somebody to stand up or whatever.
Okay, the person that leaked to the Post-Star to come over and watch the resolution of condemning Mr. Molino, that
So you're-
person right there should be able to stand up and say they are the leak that contacted the Post-Star.
So you're saying,
Can that
you're saying
person
that
raise
if
their
somebody did
hand?
call the Post-Star to alert them of a public advertised meeting, that's a leak?
Well, he's
Was it
never
a
been here
secret?
before, has he? Has he
I'm
ever
asking
been
you to
here
define your
before that I
question, Fred,
know
that's
of?
all.
Don't get into it.
Has
I'm
he
just
ever been
asking
here
for,
before? Mike, has he ever been here before that you know of?
I have no idea, Fred, but I just want to make sure that I'm understanding why you think it's a leak to let the press know that there's a public scheduled meeting. I don't know. I didn't know. But I just don't understand the question. That's all.
Well, Mike, I'll go slower so you can understand possibly.
No, you talk as slow as you want. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's gonna make sense. And
Okay.
you're right, it doesn't make sense how he wound up over here unless there's a leak. So attending years of meetings, I have never seen the Post-Star representative over here taking notes. The day that they castrated Mr. Molino, he's right here taking notes, and I'm wondering who the leak was. There had to be one of 5 people or an associate of the one of them 5 people. And my question would be, could that person please raise their hand or stand up? That's pretty easy, I guess. I can't make no easier than that, Mike.
I understand the question. I just don't understand why you call it a leak, but that's your prerogative, Fred. A leak is something that's
Well,
secret.
all right, then it's not a leak. Let's use a different word, leak. Who
Is it the same
contacted
person that,
Post-Star?
Fred? Is it the same
Yeah.
person that called the North Country Gazette?
I don't know about the North Country. I know about the
Because
Post-Star.
I think she was here too, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
You
get the
know-
North Country Gazette. I do get the
Yeah.
Post-Star, and I'm
Uh-huh.
wondering who contacted them on that.
Fred, it could have been anybody in the world. I mean, it really could have. I'm not going to sit here and answer because I don't know the answer, but it could be, it could have been
Well,
you.
then maybe Cindy can take a note that nobody is standing up or raising their hand as to that fact that the Post-Star did show up on the day that it was found that he was incompetent. Is that the word? That is the only time I've ever seen the man here. It's like, why are the fire trucks out here if there's no fire?
I don't know what to answer.
Maybe you want to go into session and figure that one out. Plus, as of yesterday, I don't know if Waterhouse's restaurant is open for serving food, beer, playing pinochle, but the board was at Waterhouse just for a long time. I feel as if they're making an attack in our plan, as was just described by you, by talking on the phone with other people and not contacting Mr. Molino.
Right, you may want to get your.
You better
facts
get
straight.
your facts together on that right, Fred.
No, I'm
That was a
asking-
Republican meeting.
I don't care if you got pictures, you better know what you're talking about.
Well,
This is Dave O'Neill, and I'm telling you straight up, Fred. I
Paul,
wasn't down there. I wasn't in town last night.
And Thursday was the same.
So
way.
please go along there and get your
It's being
facts
white
straight
Thursday
before you
night.
throw me under the bus.
Paul, I'm asking a question, Paul. Was it just a pinochle game or what was it?
It was, Fred, I know you probably,
Paul, if you say it was a
Trying to-
pinochle game, I accept that.
no, it wasn't. It was the meeting of our Republican committee.
Okay,
The
see,
Lake
that was
Luzerne
easy enough.
Republican
So
Committee.
Paul, you're jumping the gun and saying I gotta get my facts straight. So there was a meeting there last night with the attorney.
It was the
So
Lake Luzerne
Paul-
Republican Committee.
Paul,
Yes,
I asked that question. I asked that question. You jump on me for not having my facts straight. I
that's
just
correct.
know that there was a meeting of supposedly the town board, and that's my visual thing, and now you're saying I get my facts straight. Well, now the
No.
thing is, there was a meeting, so I think there's an apology due, Paul. Paul, I think there's an apology due.
Exactly, Fred, because as I said, this is Dave O'Neill, okay? And Fred, I'm telling you straight up, I wasn't in town last night.
And besides that, you said it was a town board meeting. It was not.
I said it was a town board
Republican-
members, Paul. Paul,
Huh?
town board members, I said. I didn't say meeting. I said town board members. Now it's your turn to get it straight.
Okay, so we did clarify, Fred, it was the Lake Luzerne Republican Committee, and
So,
quite
all right,
honestly,
I
all
can
right.
accept that. I can
Okay.
accept that for an answer.
okay,
All right.
thank you, all right.
I can accept that, but I can't accept Paul telling me to get my facts straight because I asked a question. Paul, I've known you a
Okay,
long
fine.
time. I respect you and I want your respect.
Yeah, Fred, excuse me for misunderstanding you.
What was that?
He said, excuse him for
Paul,
misunderstanding you.
Paul, we're both probably on the edge, so I will accept that, and I apologize to you if I sound temperamental to you too. I apologize for that.
Okay, bud.
All right, now, one other
But
thing
you
I
still
got.
said it was a town board meeting.
Well, town board meeting, it sure looked like one. I mean, you know, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you know what it is? A duck.
This quack was, Fred, was a Lake Luzerne Republican Committee meeting. You know, you
Well,
could
but-
say whatever, it was,
Well,
you know what I mean?
Hey, like I said, it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. You know what it is?
It's a Lake Luzerne Republican Committee meeting.
It's a duck. Jeez.
Okay, all right.
And now, well, that's easy. I try to put it in easy terms so people in Luzerne can understand. We're not all educated people. Okay, my last question. Your daughter is running all this Facebook stuff. I imagine she's doing a great job. Why don't I see the lamplighter Inn Motel on that?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I'm more than sure Jamie reached out to Linda. Maybe Linda could clarify if she's on. I don't know. I'm not gonna
I don't
answer
know.
for,
Well, I'm asking you to ask your stepdaughter, I hope she's your
Okay.
daughter.
All right. Yep.
That should be a question that should be addressed, and
I
I'm
think
sure
that
they're
was on
probably-
Instagram.
well,
I don't
Instagram,
know. Why don't we just, let me ask her and I'll have her give me an answer, Fred, and we'll let you know at the next meeting. I'm more than sure. You may not believe me, you may not believe me. My daughter is very high integrity and she would do the exact same job for Gene and Linda that she would for anybody else in town.
I
In
am
fact,
not,
No,
I
no,
am
I'm not
not-
saying you were, Fred. I'm certainly not saying you were. I'm just saying I know my daughter. I know how she was raised. She was raised to do things the right way, and I'm sure she did.
well,
So-
we hope all our kids are brought up the right way, okay?
Certainly,
All
I
of them.
certainly agree with you. Certainly
I
agree with
mean-
you 100%.
I thought very highly of you and pushed you for this position. At times,
And you
I'm fighting
remember-
like, pardon?
I was gonna say, do you remember what I told you? All the times you were trying to get me to do it, I said, Fred, you're gonna be the one standing up there yelling at me after I
Well,
get up here. So,
That's-
you know,
Well, I can be your best friend or your worst enemy. I mean,
Yeah. Fred,
I
all
mean,
I'm
you
gonna
know-
tell you is all I'm doing is complying with my oath to do the right thing. I didn't
I'm
make up
not
any of the
Mr.
accusations against Mr. Merlino. It breaks my heart that all this stuff was brought forward, but I wasn't the one who brought it forward. My job, let me ask you, Fred, if you sat on the board and all these people came up and said all these nefarious things about Mr. Merlino, alleged nefarious things, what would you do?
But
Would you-
as I say to my wife and my son, all right, they have a job to do that was brought up to them. That is their job to take forward steps on those questions. Your method may be a little on the crude side, which I don't approve of, but you do have to do your job. There's no
Thank you, Fred.
doubt
Thank you for
about
saying that.
doing your job. All
If I
right,
could
there's no-
erase everything for Mr. Merlino,
Pardon?
I would do it in a second. The last thing I want to see Gene is get in trouble for what he did. I know his heart was always in the right place. Gene's been a friend of mine for a long time.
Don't say I did. It's alleged.
I said alleged, Gene. I said alleged.
Can I make one
Let me
comment?
ask
I
Mike.
know I'm gonna make everybody mad at me. I'm on the Republican committee. I didn't get a notice there was a meeting.
You did not, you're no longer on. You didn't circulate a petition to stay on. You were officially off the committee as of the primaries.
That's not.
Now, Mike, one more
It is true.
question. Mike,
We
I
asked
have a
you.
question.
Come on. There are a few
All
other
right,
people.
let's move on.
Oh,
Let's-
no,
Hey,
no,
Fred,
I got,
Fred,
I got.
they want to move past you, Fred. It's not me. I'm just saying they want to
Well,
move forward.
then you tell them to hold the horses, all right?
Hold your horses.
There you go. That includes Polly, my friend, all
Oh,
right?
hold your horses. All right.
Thank you, Freddie.
Yeah.
Point of order.
Now you made me forget what the hell I was gonna ask you.
Good, say goodnight,
Bye,
Freddie.
Fred.
Okay, bye, boys.
Have a good night.
Good night,
Yeah.
bud.
Jack Herring, I see you raised your hand. What do you have to say?
Stan Goldberg.
Yeah, guys, just so you know, I see
Can you
like
hear me?
153 messages or something. We're not doing those kind of communications that way. So I'm sorry if everybody's disappointed. There's just no way that I can sit here, participate in a meeting and do 133 messages. The reason my stepdaughter's not here tonight is because she wasn't renewed and she didn't feel it was appropriate to expect that she would be without being renewed. So that's why she's not here tonight. She also had to work. So I'm doing the best I can to give access to everybody. Jack, I see you. Please go forward.
Yeah, can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to make some comments to the board with regards to the current situation and the allegations and investigation that's underway with Mr. Merlino. As you all know, I did a lot of investigative work with regards to some of these charges, and I requested that the board actually take a vote of no confidence, which you did, and you
Talk about lackeys.
Mr. Goldberg, I'm gonna cut you right off on the meeting if you don't let the man talk, because when it's your turn, I'm gonna give you the same respect. So please respect Jack, okay?
And I just find it a bit concerning that Mr. Merlino used in his argument of dismissal of the deputy Waterhouse, he used the term of trust. And this is not to get into a discussion over whether Deputy Waterhouse is or isn't qualified or anything like that. It's to get into the word of trust that Mr. Merlino used. Since he's been back a little over 2 weeks, he has taken the action to terminate the deputy position. There's been allegations made by the now former attorney that he was threatened by Mr. Merlino. I say they're allegations because I don't have any factual evidence on that. But I would mention that for an attorney to put accusations like that in writing and risk losing his law license and his livelihood, I think that that should be taken very, very seriously. Also, a gentleman who I do not know personally that worked the security there in the building has resigned. And again, he has stated to others, I don't have this firsthand, it's hearsay, that it's impossible to work there under the current conditions. So I'm going to reiterate my request to take action in 2 different forms against Mr. Merlino. First, I would like the board to initiate whatever action it takes to have him removed from office. I understand that it's not something that the board has authority to do, but I'm requesting that you look into what procedure would be to get him removed from office. The second is got to do with many of the complaints that were in that vote of no confidence with regard to tremendous loss of money, taxpayers' money from the town. How do we know this? these aren't allegations. Mr. Merlino told us this. When questioned repeatedly over several meetings with regards to the water line that was installed for the music center at no cost, he repeatedly told us that he had done that. He also said at one meeting that he receives business from that location, a percentage of his business, and therefore he was installing that water line for free. That covers pretty much the whole gamut of violations, between violations of law, violations of criminal law, ethics, so on.
Can I
We
make a
also-
response to that there, Mr. Herring?
We also,
My name
could I
is
finish speaking?
Linda Merlino,
I'd
and I would like
to
to
talk to the
respond
water
to.
superintendent and let him tell you right now, did I order that job
This is
done?
Linda Merlino, and I'd like to
Linda, microphone there.
respond to.
No, he did not order that water line to be done.
All right, you getting
Mr.
bad.
Merlino,
You're just writing this stuff out with no evidence and no proof. It's being investigated, and I think it should drop right now until the investigation is over. Because you
Mr.
have no.
Merlino, you
The
thought I
man
should
said it,
drop
I
for the
did not
last
even
5
know it
years.
was going in.
You thought I should drop this for the last 5 years. In fact, in one instance, when I was going through some of your offenses, you actually made a quick motion and terminated the meeting in order to prevent me from going further. The roof job, again, you told us about that. You told us that you didn't include the board. You told us you didn't put it out to bid. You told us that the gentleman that did it was a gambling partner, and so on and so forth. You just this evening, you made a reference to the newer boat. There is no newer boat. The boat I think that you were referencing is the one that you purchased with all the identification numbers removed from the boat. So there's no way to determine if that's a new boat, an old boat, or what brand it is or anything, or if it is stolen. You also referenced a receipt for that transaction. I submitted this before and I will say it again. That's one of the poorest examples of forgery I've ever seen. That was produced years after the boat transaction took place, and so on and so forth. The town cannot afford to go 2 more months with what you refer to as your leadership. You are burying us. Our tax dollars are being given away in return for other things. And I strongly encourage the board to look into how to create a removal. Secondly, with regards to all this missing money, I think the board should seriously consider hiring an independent, objective, investigative firm to look into how much taxpayer money is gone and who is responsible for it, and take their advice if or not it would be advisable for the town to file a civil action to recover some of this money for the taxpayers. That's all I have. Thank you.
How can I argue?
Thank you, Jack.
You want to do it, you do it.
Jack, is the controller, they're on it? I mean, is hiring an independent person going to supersede what the controller's findings are? Or again, I'm not taking a side. I'm not for or against what you're saying. I'm just, if you make a statement like that, I'd really like to understand the importance of it or whatever.
We're under audit now.
We're on the order.
You think it's wise to do that, even though the controller's in the building going through everything, and will, present their findings at a date to be determined?
Is that question for me?
Yes, sir.
I do, because I don't believe the controller's office, their objective is recovering lost money for the taxpayer. I know they will look into expenditures and determine if they were correct or not, if they were criminal or not, so on and so forth. But the bottom line is we have to at least attempt to get that money back that so many residents of Luzerne paid in hard work for money.
Jack,
paid their
this is
taxes.
Dan, I'm sorry, Jack, this is Dan. I have spoke with controller, and And if the instances are right, they do go after monies from what
Okay.
I, from, you know, just talking to that division of the comptrollers.
Well, if that is correct, and I certainly take your word for it, then that would satisfy that request. I'm just thinking of somehow the town getting some of this money back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they do a fine like that, does it come back to us? I don't know that answer, but I know that she did tell me that there's times where they do go back after, you know, monetary issues.
Mhm. I know that's a possibility, you know, if there's a prosecution or something like that, that it could be a condition, but to my knowledge, it's not a guarantee. And that's why I thought it might be worth at least looking into to see if it's feasible. If it would not cost us more than we would recover to get some of this money back.
I think it's a situation, Jack, before any of that can transpire. Okay, the findings must, all we've got is allegations at the present time. They're checking into it. We have to wait for their report to come back. And at that time, I believe, then if there is a guilty verdict, then you can go ahead with something else. But until that point, we can't do anything.
Well, I don't agree with your comment about only allegations. Certainly in a court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty, but that's reserved only for a court of law. These are more than allegations. These allegations that I mentioned tonight, Mr. Merlino has admitted either in all or in part to being complicit in. That puts him past the allegation stage.
Okay.
You know, what can I tell you?
Okay. All right, Jack, we appreciate your.
Let them investigate.
Yep. I don't know if you guys can hear Mr. Merlino. He's says, let them investigate and let the chips fall where they fall. And I think that's the smart answer. And that's basically what we've done, guys. We took the information that was cast upon us by the general public, like I said, Jack, yourself, other people, employees, ex-employees, and we moved it forward. That's what we're charged to do by our oath. It's certainly not a witch hunt, like we've heard that word used before. We did not make anything up. We did not go digging for false accusations. These were accusations made by other people. So, Jack, we appreciate your comment. And anybody next, I see Kay's iPad.
If I could just do a real quick short follow-up, Mike, please. Just one quick question. Why are you guys there tonight? You're there because Mr. Merlino did things the Merlino way instead of the legal way last week when there was supposed to be a meeting. Threw a wrench in the gears, so to speak, violated the law, which is not uncommon, packed the room with people in violation of the COVID rule, and required all you folks to reassemble tonight and all the citizens to reassemble tonight to try to hear a bit of a meeting. This is what it's going to be like until the term is over with. The town shouldn't have to go through this, and I don't know if it can survive what is to come with this lawlessness. Thank you a lot for your time.
Thank you, Jack. I see Kay's iPad. I'm not sure who that is, so I'm just using your screen name or whatever it's called.
Yes, that's it's.
Oh, is that you, Jack? I'm sorry. All right.
Yes.
Mr. Goldberg, I see you're unmuted, so if you'd like to speak, please do.
I assume that Mr. Merlino has an opportunity to work with the auditor or speak with the auditor. Does he?
Not yet, but they assure me I'll have my time.
I don't know if you can hear
your
Mr.
time.
Goldberg. He said they assured him that he'll have his time. He hasn't spoken with them yet.
Okay. What's the status of the normal 10-year audit? Is that going on now?
Yes, it is, according to Lori, the deputy clerk. Yes.
I'd like to know from Mike Fazio, who are the lackeys?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to really understand your term of people who love Gene Merlino for 16 years, turning this town into a wonderful town. And then we're called lackeys. I'll raise my hand. I'm a lackey.
Okay. Well, then you know the definition.
Who
It's
else?
just a follower. It's a follower, Mr. Goldberg.
who
You
is-
know exactly what it is. A lackey
No,
is
I
a follower.
don't. No, I don't. You're well, I'll call you a bully.
Okay.
You do that.
already
I'm
have.
surprised Gene wasn't put in the hospital again tonight.
Oh,
You did it last time with Mitchell.
I'm in good shape, believe me, because I'm being able to open my mouth and fight for myself where I don't get it.
Right.
So,
He said he's in good shape,
I'm in
Mr.
good
Goldberg,
health.
which is great news. None of us want to see Mr. Merlino in ill health. I can tell you that from
Yeah, you waited until he was not, when he was on medical leave, to nail the 15 or whatever charges against him, like Luther did against Church with 80. You net the same thing.
Mr. Goldberg.
And
we
then
had
you
the
have this
resolution-
lackey, then you have this lackey playing prosecutor just before I spoke, denigrating him, and they someone on the board used the word guilty. This isn't a court, nor is the audit a court. He's not being indicted. There's no indictment. There may be charges. So make it clear that K's iPad over there, Mr. Herron, doesn't get the floor to be prosecutor. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Goldberg.
Next.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
That's it?
I don't want to cut him off, Gene. I don't want.
Anybody else out there? No comment? Let's get a motion adjourned.
Make a motion.
Second.
We're adjourned.
All in favor?
Aye.